Okay, so we finished off with June 6th completely. So now we have left is our what happened on the 7th. So let's go ahead and go through that. So we have a couple transactions that has happened. Excuse me. And then eventually, hopefully we have some time at the end of the day to complete our first trial balance. It shouldn't take too long, but we'll see how far we get till today. So here we are. We just finished paying for our cash register. So let's go ahead, excuse me, and see what happened on the 7th of June. So what happened first?
All right, so hire LV Remodeling Company to remodel this store area
Okay.
and receive Kim Robinson's recommendation and bill, $1,000 due in 3 days, invoice number 1542.
All right. So let's start with the first transaction. So I try to space them
So
out.
hire LV Remodeling to do, they didn't do anything yet, so you don't have to do anything.
Perfect. Good. So then the next thing that happened was Kim Robinson sent us a bill.
Yes, a recommendation and a bill. I don't know what that is, but if that means anything.
It's because remember we hired her for the purpose to consult,
Okay.
right? To consult the interior designing. Like give us a recommendation on how the store should be designed. And then we hired LV Remodeling to execute that recommendation.
Okay.
So now she billed us $4,000 with an invoice of $1,542. And when is it due?
In 3 days.
In 3 days. So with this piece of information, what can we assume?
So we are going to have to pay her.
When do we have to pay her?
Right away. Very
Mm,
quickly, like due in 3 days.
due in 3 days, meaning we have 3 days to pay her.
Right.
And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not going to pay her until 3 days from now.
Okay.
So therefore, I'm going to owe her.
Okay. So accounts payable for that.
For sure.
Okay.
Okay. Now, because this is just a random consulting fee, or, I just hired her to just do something random, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you guys, place it all in a business expense.
Okay.
So we're going to have a business expense, and we're going to owe her because we're not going to pay her just yet. We're going to wait till we make all of our purchases of her assets and then pay her later. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is the date, and I'm going to journalize for, again, business expense because I want you to place it as a business expense. Okay, and of course, how we're going to pay her is going to be, we're going to owe her.
Accounts payable.
Okay, so what account number is my business expense going to be?
60200.
60200. Okay, perfect. So business expense is going to be 60200, and accounts payable is going to be
20,000.
20,000. Okay. And how much is the bill deemed for?
$1,000.
$1,230,000. Okay. And then you could go ahead and make a note here, since I'm not paying with cash or anything. I'm owing this person. So I'm going to say this. Who do I owe? I owe Kim Robinson. All right. And the invoice number?
1542.
1542, comma, and I'm going to say this due is due in net 3, which meaning it's due in 3 days. Okay. And then you can also include consultant fees, whatever consultation, whatever. I think that's good enough for me to be able to have the invoice number because I can pull this up and know exactly how much. All right. So then what is next?
So now we have to do the general ledger.
General ledger. Good.
Okay, and to expenses.
Mm-hmm.
And that was 60200.
Should be like maybe the third account down. Yes, it is business expenses. So on June 7.
Okay. And now would you put it for the Kim Robinson again?
Mm-hmm.
For the consultation?
Definitely, because this one it's a general account, right? I can do whatever I want. I can dump in whatever, and I can consider anything to be a business expense. So I'm gonna go ahead and write consultation fee. All right. Post reference going to be general journal number 2.
2.
And I'm going to debit my expense for $1,000, making my beginning balance to be $1,000. And then now we have to go dive into our accounts payable, so liabilities. First chart table there for 6-7. Now I'm going to put my invoice number so then I don't have to type in Kim Robinson's name again. So 1542 should be sufficient enough for you to pull up the information to know exactly who the vendor is and etc. etc. So general journal number 2. And this time it's for a credit of $1,000. So now the amount that you owe in general is going to be now reflected as okay, so this one is going to be different. This formula right here. So make sure that you okay, so this one, because we're dealing with credits, right? It's going to equal one above, all right? And you're going to add your credits, so to the left 2, and you're going to subtract any debits left 3, okay? Not the one that's next to it on the left, okay? You need to go over 3 boxes,
Okay.
all right? And that's going to give me a grand total of
$1,649.49.
and this one, I'm going to pull all the way down because we will be utilizing accounts payable quite frequently. So I'm going to go ahead and pull it down all the way to the end of the table. And this one is going to be, we're just going to check up on each other. Okay. Okay.
Oh, there it goes.
Did you get it?
Yeah,
Okay, perfect.
thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right. So what is next?
And now to the subsidiary ledger.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So there you go. Subsidiary ledger.
Kim Robinson.
Kim Robinson. Who is Kim Robinson?
She is a person.
She's a vendor. Okay. Usually,
Yeah,
yeah. Usually, if it's a
I was
person,
wondering if you meant to work for another company. It's just her.
no, it's just her. So usually, how this works is they're alphabetical by last name. So, because she's an independent contractor or whatever, just an individual, she's going to be under Robinson Kim. Okay. So here you go. The date is 6/7. In the notes, you could say consultation fee. Invoice number, which we know is 1542. Post reference is general journal number 2. Terms. She didn't give us any discount. We just know that the whole bill is due net 3. Okay, so this is where I'm going to determine, well, when is the discount date? We don't have one. So when is it going to be completely due? Well, what is 3 days from when we receive the bill?
6/10.
6/10. It's going to be due on June 10. All right. So this is another column that I've created for you guys to place your information so you know when the discount is or when the actual complete bill is due. So in this case, it is due on June 10. All right, no prepaid amounts. All we received was just the invoice amount of $1,000. We made no payment because we owe Kim Robinson. So therefore, if I apply my formula, it should show that I owe $1,000 to Kim Robinson.
Yes, okay.
Woohoo.
There, took me a minute to get sure I got the right formula.
No worries, okay? So good. We owe Kim Robinson $1,000. Okay. Now let's go back to our scenario here. So then, what has happened next? Now that we owe Kim Robinson, what has happened next?
We received from furniture store, assumed delivery charge is split 75% to the counter and 25% to the shelf. We got the invoice for our counter and our display shelves that we ordered.
Yes, we did. We finally received our items for the counter and the display shelf. So as you can see, there's more to than just the counter and the shelves. We got charged tax because they're assets, right? They're furniture. So this is not considered a vendor to customer, what do you call it? You cannot be tax exempt for this one. And we also got charged a delivery fee. Now, how shipping works is based on weight. So I'm going to make an assumption that the counter is really heavy, as you can imagine, a counter. And display shelves, obviously display shelves are going to be very light. So how I told you to split it is 75% is going to go to the actual counter and 25% is going to go to your actual shelves. So this one, we got a grand total due for $17.70 and 30 cents. So therefore, we need to do a little math in between to calculate how much tax and how much shipping is going to be divided between the two to give us a grand total of our bill to be in grand total of $17.70.30. So, with that being said, we do have these furniture items. We do have a counter and we do have display shelves. So let's go ahead and let's go work on it on the side. So we have here the grand total of how much each item costs, right? The counter cost me a grand total for $10.33. So, and my display shelves were a total of $510. How are you going to split the tax amongst these items?
Well,
Oh,
sorry.
no, you're good. You're good. I was doing the math, so I was.
Oh, I mean, I would just take the 1,033 times 8.25,
Uh-huh.
and then I go with the 510 times 8.25.
Good.
Okay. So tax on the 1033 would be $85.22.
Okay, so add it together.
Okay, basically is $1,118.22.
Okay, and did you add the $75 for the freight?
No. Oh, wait, so you're doing 75 on that because you're not,
Mm-hmm. Because the 75% is going to go to the counter, 25%. So what is 75% of 100?
I just wanted to make sure you weren't splitting it just down the middle.
Oh, of course not. No, no, no.
So, plus 75. Okay, so now with the shipping, it is $1,193.22.
Okay, and then what about your display shelves?
So, let's see, the tax is 4208. So 510 plus 4208 equals 552.8 plus $25. 577.08. 577.08.
577.08. So now let's go ahead and 577.08.
Yes, both the 1,193.22 plus 577.08 is $1,770.30.
Good. So let's go ahead and find my asset account numbers. So I'm going to journalize because I received my counter. So therefore, I can place that into service immediately. So 6/7 is the date, and we have our furniture for the counter. So what's my account number for my counter?
Uh,
13020.
Good. And the display shelves?
13040.
Perfect. Okay, so yes, we know after calculating the tax, we split the tax and we also split the freight. We got a grand total for $1193.22 for my counter, and we got $577.08 for my display shelves, giving me a grand total of $17.70. And because this is a bill, what do we know about this bill? Let's look at the bill carefully. When is it due? Are we given terms?
Um,
I don't see any listed. Am I missing it?
ship date. Don't see.
Oh, 15.
Net 15. Terms is net 15. So we're not going to receive a discount, but we know that the whole bill is due in 15 days. So,
Oh,
yes. So, and then, of course, I'm not going to pay it yet. I'm going to wait on those 15 days because I want to make sure I have enough money in order to pay this off. So I'm going to wait it for a bit. So I'm going to make this something that I owe to this vendor, which is a furniture store. So it's going to be on an account. All right. $20,000 for the account for accounts payable. Okay? Because we don't need to write a check or anything else for that, I'm going to go ahead and fill in my little description here. So here, I received this from Furniture Store. All right. Invoice, what's my invoice number?
69.
Invoice number 69. Okay. And it is due in 15 days. Right? Right. Now, before we move on to the next section, which is going and posting to the general ledger, I want you to go to your purchase orders because now we received our items. So you want to make sure as an inventory manager or whoever your position is, that you make sure that you received the actual counter and shelves. So here we received our second purchase first, number 69. Okay, we received that first before we received the desk set. So there you go. All right. And we go back to my journal, and then we can go ahead and complete our journal and go to our ledger. So here I have a counter, I have display shelves, and I have an accounts payable. So assets first, and I'm going to go to my display shelves. I'm going to go to my counter, which is going to be here. 6, 7. You don't have to write anything there. Post reference is going to be general journal. Number 2. And I debited the account for 11. Is it 1183? 93. 1193.22. Okay. And of course, that's going to bring my account balance in my counters as 1193.22. Okay. And then you could scroll down to find your display shelves and enter it in as well. So in this one, we can place in that you purchase a total of 5 display shelves. So that could be a piece of information you can place in your items, that you have a total of 5 display shelves. Okay. Post reference is your general journal number 2. And you debit the account for 57708, making your debit balance of 57708 in your display shelves. Okay. Last but not least, we need to also update our accounts payable account for 6/7. Okay. Here, invoice number 69. General journal number 2. And we're crediting our account by a grand total of $17.70.30, bringing our new balance to be
$34.19.79.
$34.19.79. So, wow, we're picking up and we're starting to owe like crazy. Okay. All right. Then last but not least, we got to go to our Furniture Store on our subsidiary ledger. So here we're going to go find Furniture Store. They're a vendor to us. So F All right, here they are, furniture store. So on June 7. Okay. Notes here is you could say you got a counter with 5 display shelves. Okay. Invoice number 69. Post reference is General Journal number 2. Terms. We don't have a discount, but we know that it's due in 15 days. All right? So discount date obviously doesn't exist, but when is this bill actually due? So what is 15 days away from the 7th?
2022. 22nd.
22nd of June. Okay, so June 22nd is when this entire bill is due. We didn't make any advance payments to it. Our invoice is for the 770.30. And because we didn't make any payments to it, therefore we owe this amount of 17.70 and 30 cents after putting in the formula. Okay, and at the bottom, the gray is just pretty much telling you what's your grand total that you owe this entire vendor. In this case, it's unnecessary. It's just equal sum for the column. It's up to you if you want to do that. Again, it looks very, what do you call it? It looks good. It looks good so that you'd be able to find out, oh, this is how much I owe furniture store in grand total. But it's unnecessary to have just because you don't really, the more important one is how much you owe them for each bill versus how much you owe them in grand total. Okay, so good. So we owe furniture store right now 17.70 and 30 cents. Okay. And now it is back to our journal. Okay. So, what has happened next?
Looks like we got purchase order 170304 to furniture store. 5 sets of bistro table and chairs at $605.55 for a grand total of $3,027.75.
Okay, so we ordered some bistro tables. So where do we place this?
On our purchase order log.
Yes. Okay. We are just making an order. We haven't received the items yet or received a bill for it yet. All we know should be purchase order number 304. All right. So 6-7 is when we place the order. So who did we make a purchase from?
Furniture store.
All right. And I'm just gonna put table and chairs.
Should we put 5 sets?
I mean, it's up to you. If you want to be descriptive, you can. But in this case, I mean, tables and chairs are pretty obvious. Okay. And for the grand total amount of $3,027.75. Okay. Okay, so that's it for my purchase order. So now I just have to wait for when I receive it. Okay. So then what has happened next?
So there is a down payment check written to Halley Brothers
Mm,
on the 6th. Is for the wrong amount. Issued a revised purchase order,
okay.
number 170303R.
Okay.
Void check number 1506.
Okay.
Issue a check for the correct amount of $1,171.87.
Okay, so whoever our inventory manager, they decided to calculate the wrong amount of the down payment. So now we have to reissue a new check by voiding the first one, and now we have to do this. So what I want you to do is I want you to reverse and re-entry the new journal entry. So the first thing we're going to do is we need to reverse the payment. We need to cancel the check and reverse the payment. All right? And then we're going to enter in a new transaction to reflect the brand new entry. So let's go ahead and do this. So step number 1, what do you think we should do first?
The journal.
Okay. Okay.
No?
Yeah, no, that's fine. You can definitely do the journal first. Okay. And how are you going to journalize this? So the transaction is we wrote a wrong deposit amount. So we need to reverse the transaction. So
Right, so we'll be checking.
we're gaining back our money. And we're taking back the prepaid amount, right? We're taking back the advance payment.
Right.
Okay. So,
And then the prepaid account.
mhm.
Okay, so well, the account number for checking is the 10100,
Okay.
and then the 18600 for the prepaid,
Okay. And I'm reversing it for how much?
the $1,140.22.
Good. We're gonna or undo our checking by 11:40:22. Okay. And the description here is pretty straightforward. It's to correct the entry that was done on June 6th. So here, to correct Hallie Bros entry on June 6th. All right, and you can also write void check number, whatever that number was,
1506.
1506. So, with that being said, what do we need to do?
We need to void the check.
We need to go to our check register and we need to void this. So in this case, usually what you do in red or with a stamp, you just come into the check register and you can either place it here or you can actually place it here and write void. Okay? So you can cross out the number, whatever you want to do. Make sure that you indicate that this check is void and physically call the bank to void the check since you've already sent it out. Okay? All right. So now we got to go to our ledger and undo this process. So first things first is my checking account.
Okay.
And then I want you to put void check number 1506. Right? General journal number 2. we're increasing our account by 1140.22, right? We're basically getting back the money that we wrote out to. So bringing our account back up to 11,361.29. Okay. And then we're going to go back down to our prepaid accounts. All right. And we're going to undo this. So 7. And then here you can write void check number 1506. Okay. And you could go ahead and general journal number 2, credit the 1140.22 to bring back now your accounts prepaid accounts back down to 6654.17. So it's as if you didn't do this transaction. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and we are going to not do the subsidiary ledger yet. We're going to do it at the very end of this transaction. So here we're just reversing the transaction here. Okay? So then the next piece of information says that now you need to re-enter it again with the correct amount, and you need to revise the PO number. So in this case, we're going to go to our purchase orders. Okay. And we're going to place a little R right next to purchase order number 303. So here, we're going to go ahead and place a capital R because we're revising it, because we're making a new payment of 1171 instead of 1140. So there you go. So place an R there. Okay. And now we're going to go back to our general journal and type in now our new correct amount for our journal. So I'm going to now debit my accounts or prepaid accounts. And I'm going to credit my checking for the correct amount of 1171.87. So 18,600 and 10,100 for the amount of 1171.87. 1171.87. Okay. And for here, because we're reissuing a brand new check, go ahead and write your new check out. So check register for June 7. We're writing the amount for 1171.87. And again, now this is to Hallie Bros. Okay. Not with void. We want to make sure that you take that out because this is not voided. This is to them. It still copied it in there. There you go. Hallie Bros. There you go. So now I wrote a new check. This time it's for 1507. So now I'm going to go back to my journal and I'm going to go ahead and place this information right here saying that now it is going to be for Hallie Bros. Same thing, purchase order number 170,303R, since it's revised, with a new check of 1507. Okay, and it's pretty straightforward if we follow through, because we know that it's a third of a 1/3 down payment. So by entering this information saying that it is now the revised PO, it should be pretty straightforward. You know what you're doing. Okay. All right, now that we completed our journal, we're going to go ahead and enter this into our ledger. Okay, so here we're already at prepaid accounts, so that's good. So 6-7, I would put purchase order number 170,303R, so you know it's revised, okay, and the check number. $15.07, general journal number 2, and now this is what, 1171.87 is what I have in my journal. Yes, 1171.87. Bringing in my new balance to be
$7,826.04.
good. 7826.04 is our new balance in my prepaid accounts. So then I gotta scroll all the way up to checking to make sure that I fill that information out. So 6-7. All right, we're gonna put in a brand new check number in here for 1507, general journal number 2. And this time I'm crediting my account for 1171.87. And now my new amount in my bank should be
$10,189.42.
good. 10,189.42. So I'm gonna give you guys a couple seconds to catch up. Okay. So this is now the crucial point where we need to fix our subsidiary ledger. Since we have, if we go to our subsidiary ledger under Haley Bros, we see that we already have all this information in here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually come in here, all right, and I'm going to put in void. Okay, so you know that this transaction has been voided. All right. So then on the next line over, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually enter in a new date because we have a new check, new invoice, right? We have an invoice 170,303R. So we have new information, and what this does too is this keeps you in track of what you've done, and this also gives you proof of a transaction that you voided a check properly and that you didn't erase it from your books. So this is why I want you to keep every transaction in your books, because then again, you don't have a potential of fraud, right? Where did that 11.40 go, right? You didn't pocket it to your pocket yourself, right? This is an actual transaction that made proof that you made a mistake and now you're reversing it. Okay, so there I put the void. You don't need to edit anything else in there. You're leaving the transaction as is. But what you're going to place here is you're going to place in check number 1507, right? Because the information's still the same because we have PO 170,303R. All right, that's what's special about this one is it's the same thing essentially. We're making a third of a payment, but this time it's being revised. All right, general journal number 2, and this time my invoice amount is going to be 1171 $1,171.87. And yes, we made a payment to this. So therefore, right now, you still owe Haley Bros nothing. Okay? So this will make sense when we receive our bill, what we do with this $1,171.87, okay? Just be patient and wait till I believe it's on the next week that we actually journalize this. Okay? Or we actually mess with a subsidiary ledger for this. So again, here we have a new date of when the check was written out. Okay? And we have new information in here, such as a revised purchase order. So that's important that you have in here instead of erasing your transaction and placing something new in between, all right? That's going to be messy, and on top of that, that's not a good way to keep track of your information, all right? That poses, possibility of fraud, okay? So now that we completed our our subsidiary ledger, we're done with that. So what has happened next?
So we received from the furniture store invoice number 71, which was our desk that we ordered.
Yes, we ordered our desk. It finally arrived. Even though it was the first thing that we purchased, it just came a little later. Now, because this is only one desk set, right? All the tax and all the delivery charge has been included already. So good thing here is we don't need to calculate anything. It's already done for us. So because we acquired a desk set, what account am I going to be including?
Desk set, and then it's going to be your accounts payable.
Good, because we're not going to pay him yet. We received a bill, and nothing else is. We're not going to pay it now. We're going to pay it when? Maybe in the next 15 days. So that's what our terms is 15 days. So with the little journal here, we're able to squeeze this piece of information here, right? We acquired a desk set. And we are owing it on an accounts payable. Okay, so first off, what was my account number for my desk set?
13030.
13030?
Yep.
Is that the desk set?
Yes, I'm looking
Okay.
at it.
Okay, 13030.
0.
Okay, and then accounts payable is 20,000. All right, good. And what amount am I going to be placing in each account?
658.37.
658.37 is going to be my grand total. 658.37. Okay. And because we are not utilizing anything in regards to a check or anything, we could go ahead and indicate what our information is. So we purchased this from furniture store. Our invoice number is 71. And this bill is going to be due net 15. Right? No discount involved. Nothing. So we reached the bottom of our page 2 with no extra lines or anything. So we don't need to draw a line at all because we've already at the very bottom of the page. So with that being said, let's go ahead and place this into the ledger. Okay. So desk set is an asset. Okay, it's going to be under furniture. Okay, so here I found my desk set. Okay, so June 7 is when I purchased it. Item, you already know it's a desk set. General journal number 2. And we increased our account by 65837, making our debit balance to be 65837. Then we're going to go to our liabilities to also update our accounts payable, right? We owe money. We owe more money now with invoice number 71. General journal number 2. And we increased our liabilities by $658.37, bringing our grand total to be now what?
$4,078.16.
That is correct. Okay. Lastly, we got to update our subsidiary ledger with furniture store. So let's go up to furniture store. Here we are, again on June 7. We received, now this one is where you need to add information such as we purchased a desk set. Okay, from the furniture store. Invoice number 71, general journal number 2. We don't have terms, but we know that we have a net 15, meaning we pay the whole bill in 15 days, which is what date? What is the actual due date?
Again, June 22nd.
It's going to be the same thing, yes, June 22nd. All right. We owe for the invoice amount of $658.37 because we didn't make a payment to it. Therefore, we owe another $658, okay? So this is what I was talking about. Every invoice, you're going to have your total amount here. So you can, for when you make a payment to your items, you can just go ahead and pull up this piece of information and you'd be able to find exactly what your invoice amount is. So you can purchase, you can pay for specific items. But let's say you just want to pay the whole entire furniture store, you can by totaling up. So your total right here, the gray bar says total. So my total that I owe is $2,428.67 that I owe to right now as of June 7th. This is what I grand total owe them. All right. Okay. And then let's see what's the last transaction that happened in the journal.
Okay, let's see here. Start water and Las Vegas city services through NB Utilities.
Okay.
We
So
didn't get a bill yet, so.
yeah, you didn't receive a bill yet because you just turned on the water. They don't require a deposit or anything, so you just started your business, so obviously there's no bill to be there. So the last step is now we can finally create our trial balance. Okay? So for your trial balance, all you need is, well, make sure that you notify that in your little chart of account, or not chart of accounts, in your little journal, right? This is what I like to do. Usually at the end of your transaction, what I do in the journal is because we reach the very bottom of the page here, I generally indicate that I'm going to complete my trial balance here. So I usually just fill this in with either black and I write in the message with white. Okay, and I usually say, well, this is when I'm going to complete my first trial balance. So trial balance for week 1. Okay, and I usually indicate that just so that I block off all my transactions above so I don't have anything to either edit, fix, or anything like that. Okay? And then once I complete my trial balance and it matches both debits and credits matches, then I can move on and go forth. If I need to go back and fix a journal that I made a mistake for, then I can just do the correction entries right underneath. Okay? So for the trial balance, all you actually need is your general ledger. Okay? Because what the whole purpose of a trial balance is, it's obviously your account balances and you're making sure that does your debits match your credits. So in this case, you're only going to be needing your general ledger, and you're only going to be needing your financial statements or your financial forms. In this case, I pulled out my first trial balance, which is under tab number TB1. So here I am here, and it's going to be a list of all of your accounts in order, from all your assets to all your liabilities, etc., in order. So how I'm going to do this is, first I'm going to format my little table here. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through every single account in my general ledger, and I'm going to go through them and record whatever accounts have account balances. So the first one I see is bank. Bank is a main account. In this trial balance, you can use whatever account you want, whether it's main or sub account, I don't care, as long as it has some kind of balance to it. In this case, I don't have anything in my bank, so I'm not going to report my bank account. What I'm going to report is my checking account, because I do have an account balance, and I do have a current balance of $10,189.42. That was the last thing I've done as far as June 7th. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and place in my account name. I'm going to go ahead and write checking. Okay? And because I know it is a debit balance, I'm going to also place it on the debit side for the $10,189.42. Okay? So the next account that I have is going to be petty cash. I didn't establish a petty cash account yet, so I don't record it. What about cash in the register? I didn't put anything in there yet either. Next is, of course, I didn't open my store yet, so I don't have accounts receivable or an allowance for doubtful accounts. So, do I have any business supplies? I haven't made any yet, so I can skip all of these accounts that are under business supplies. So the next one is office supplies. I haven't made purchases of that either. So the next one is inventory. I haven't made purchases of inventory at all either, so I can skip all of this inventory items, which is your regular coffee, Supreme coffee, and your coffee mugs. I don't have any of that. So the next account I have is furniture. I did have furniture, but I sold it out. So in this case, you can place your main account in here, but there's no account balance to it, right? It's reflecting as 0. So I'm not going to place it in there because I don't want to clutter my trial balance with too much space. So I'm going to skip my furniture, but I know that the first thing I bought was indeed a counter, right? I just placed a purchase order for my bistro table, so I haven't received them yet. So the first account I see here is my counter. All right? So that's what I'm going to place here because I do have an account balance for my counter. And it's going to be for $1193.22. Okay? What else did I buy?
Desk set.
You bought the desk set, exactly. And how much did I buy my desk set for?
$658.37.
Good, on the debit side. Okay. And then I lastly have display shelves. Yes, I do. For $577.08. Oops. 8 cents. Okay. And let's see what else. I think that is it. Did I buy any office equipment?
Yes.
Yes, you did. Well, not in the main account, but definitely the sub accounts. I do have a computer
And a printer.
and a printer. So, computer, printer. I also got a cash register. Remember, that's considered an office equipment. All right. So, for my computer, how much is it?
Hold on, I'm still typing all the stuff into the,
No worries.
because I don't have the split screens, I don't get it back, so.
So the computer is for $1,834.84.
84 cents. Good. 1834.84. All right.
And then the printer was for $378.87.
378.87. Okay.
The cash register was
Six.
649.49.
649.49. Okay. Good. So I'll let you guys I'll give you guys a second to catch up. All right. Okay. All right. Are both of you here now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay.
Okay. All right. So equipment. Did we buy any equipment?
Yes.
Yes, we did. In
Brewer
fact,
and a grinder.
we did not receive the grinder just yet.
Oh, just the brewer. Okay.
Just the brewer. Remember, we acquired this on the first transaction that we did when we bought the company. So we have 2 brewers coming in. All right, we have a total of 2 brewers. So I have a coffee brewer for a total of
1900.
1900. Okay, I'm gonna format this so it's in decimals. Okay, 1900. Okay. So again, we don't have our coffee grinder yet, so we can skip that. Did we make any purchases for vehicles?
No.
No, we did not make a purchase for a vehicle. All right. And what about our prepaid accounts?
Yes, we have some.
Yes, we do. And I'm going to keep it consistent, so I'm going to go ahead and indicate that these are main accounts. So prepaid accounts. All right. And what's my total for my prepaid accounts? What's my balance?
One second.
$7,826.04.
782604. 782604. Okay, good. All right. Next one is deposits. Do we have any deposits?
Yes.
Yes, we do. For the grand total of
1700.
100. Okay. And then do we have goodwill?
We do.
We do. For how much?
2,100.
2,100. Right?
No, 2,100. 2,100. Oh, I
Yep.
thought you said 100. Sorry.
No, 2,100. Okay. And then lastly, do we have any miscellaneous suspense?
Yes, we do.
Yes, we did. But what happened
Yeah,
now? Do we
right.
have an imbalance in there right now?
No.
No.
No. So you're not required to post this into your trial balance, right? Again, you don't want to clutter things. And on top of that, it makes no sense to place the account and place a zero there. It doesn't affect any account as part of this. So here is your total. So here we have our debits so far for our assets, okay? So the next thing that we're going to be looking at is any liabilities. Now, I'll give you a hint. The only liability so far that we've encountered is only accounts payable.
Okay.
So far. Okay, so accounts payable. All right. And what is my total credit balance in my accounts payable?
$4,078.16.
$4,078.16. Again, I'll briefly go over the liabilities, but we haven't done anything yet. We don't have a credit card yet. All right, and we don't have any payroll, obviously. We don't have any unearned revenue just yet. We don't even have any utilities payable. We don't even have any sales tax. We haven't opened our store yet. And then, so here's unearned sales tax, and we haven't made a loan yet. So therefore, we have nothing other than accounts payable in our liabilities. What about our equity account?
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. So owner's equity. And what's my credits going to be?
30,000.
Yes, our company is worth right now 30,000 because I originally invested $30,000 into my company, right? And nothing else was affected when it came to equity, right? Obviously, we didn't have any revenues, so I'm going to go ahead and pass that because we haven't even started opening our business yet. And same thing with cost of goods sold, since cost of goods sold is directly correlated to your revenues. Okay, so none of those are going to be in your trial balance for this week because we didn't incur any so far. Okay, we haven't even opened our store yet. So now we're going to go through our operating expenses. Okay, so first thing I have here is, did we have advertising expense?
No.
No. What about bank fees? Did we reconcile our bank yet?
No.
Nope.
Not yet. Okay. We do have our first business expense. So what was our business expense for?
Consultation fee
Good.
for $1,000.
Business expense for $1,000 on the debit side. All right. Did we have any freight expense? We didn't make any purchases of inventory yet, so of course we don't have any. Next is insurance expense.
Yes.
Yes, we do. For 195.83. Okay, so again, insurance expense was 195.83. Right? Do we have any labor expense? In this case, no, we haven't incurred any, right? We don't have any subcontractor expense or temporary labor expense just yet. Okay. Do we have a license and permit expense?
Yes.
Yes, we do. License and permit expense for $375. Okay. We also have a loss on disposal of assets, right? We created that account. Loss on disposal of asset. All right. And that was for $2,000. I'll give you guys a second to catch up.
I'm done.
Okay.
You're good.
Okay. So next is office supplies expense. Well, we don't have any office supplies, so obviously we don't have expenses there for yet. And of course, we haven't employed anybody, so payroll expenses are going to be empty. Purchase expense, we haven't made purchases of inventory yet, so we can ignore purchase returns, allowance, and discounts. Now the next one is rent expense. Did we have rent expense?
Yeah.
Yes, we did. For $1,500. Okay. Other than that, we didn't have any travel expenses or any utilities expenses, bad debt, depreciation, or amortization expense. So we are done with our trial balance. Now the next thing that we're going to do, so I'm going to make this a little bigger so you guys can see. So now our next thing that we got to do is now we got to make sure that our total debits equal our total credits. So here, if you guys know how to use it, equal sum. Okay. And I'm going to click and highlight all of these numbers. And press enter. All right. And I'm going to make sure that both sides match 100%. I got a total debits of $34.79.16. Same thing, right? Oh, 78, not 79. 34.78.16. They both match on both sides. So that means our accounting is good. We balance and we're done with the first week of Coffee Cafe. Yay! Now, of course, this is just the beginning. We haven't even gotten into inventory. We haven't even got into depreciation and what happens when we record sales. So that's going to happen obviously on week 3. So week 2 is going to be introducing you to more things, such as what happens when we attempt to make purchases of inventory. We're going to have examples of both scenarios where we have a perpetual inventory, and we also have a periodic inventory. So with that being said, we are done with our trial balance. We balance on both sides, and we are complete with Coffee Cafe week 1. Yay! So I will be posting Coffee Cafe week 2 on the Google Classroom, and I will also be posting the answers so you can check back, and if you'd like to redo this whole thing, you may do so. So